Not every door in your life has been the right one, Sagittarius. You know this. You have stood in front of a few that looked promising from the outside and found something disappointing or incomplete on the other side. You have also walked through doors you thought were all wrong and found something that changed your life in ways you could not have anticipated. You have a relationship with thresholds, with new beginnings, with the specific feeling of standing at the edge of the unknown and choosing to step forward anyway. It is perhaps the most Sagittarius thing there is. The ability to aim at what you cannot yet fully see and release the arrow anyway, with faith rather than certainty, with direction rather than proof. But the door that is opening right now is different from the ones that have come before. This is not an ordinary opportunity or a new beginning that looks appealing on the surface and delivers something average. This is the kind of opening that the universe constructs carefully, the kind that arrives after a period of real learning, after something in you has genuinely shifted, after you have done enough of the inner work to be ready for what is on the other side. These openings do not come on our timeline. They come when we are actually ready, which is often later than we wanted and earlier than we feared. The signals are already there. They have been showing up in ways that might seem unrelated at first, small moments and quiet noticings, the kind that do not make it onto a calendar or into a conversation but that leave a mark nonetheless. A feeling in the morning that the air is different. A sense during an ordinary moment that something is watching over you. A thought about the future that arrives with warmth rather than anxiety. These are not coincidences. They are coordinates. What follows is a reading of those signals. Not as predictions but as recognition. Because the part of you that is already aware of this opening needs to hear that what it is sensing is real. Signal 1. You have recently felt a pull towards something you cannot yet fully explain. There is a draw in a particular direction that you have not been able to fully articulate yet. It is not tied to a specific goal or a defined opportunity. It is more like a compass needle swinging slowly, but consistently toward a point on the horizon you cannot yet name. You feel it when you are quiet. You feel it in unguarded moments, when you are not busy or distracted or performing any of the versions of yourself that daily life requires. When the surface noise of ordinary life drops away for a moment and something underneath surfaces. And in those moments, this pull is unmistakable. For Sagittarius, this kind of directional pull is one of the most trustworthy signals available. Your sign is ruled by Jupiter, which governs expansion, wisdom, and long journeys, both the geographic kind and the philosophical kind. When Jupiter is opening a door in your life, the first thing you experience is this directional pull. This inner arrow that has found something to aim at even before your conscious mind understands what the target is. The bow is already being raised. The aim is already being taken. Your rational mind just has not caught up yet. This is not confusion. This is not meaningless wandering of attention. This is your navigator coming online before the journey has a formal name or a visible destination. The temptation is to wait until you can explain the pull before you trust it. To wait for a clear label, a defined plan, a destination you can describe to someone else. But for Sagittarius, waiting for the map before moving is often what delays the journey. The direction comes first. The details follow. Movement creates clarity in a way that standing still cannot. What is pulling your attention lately? Not just your surface attention, but the deeper kind, the kind that keeps returning to something even when you try to redirect it elsewhere? What keeps surfacing in your thoughts when you are not trying to think about anything in particular? What images or ideas or places or possibilities arrive uninvited and linger? Follow that thread. It does not need to be logical yet. It does not need to be explainable. What it needs is your willingness to keep moving in its general direction, because the universe reveals more to those who are already in motion. The destination is real. The pull is real. And you have everything you need to begin. Signal 2. You have been experiencing moments of unexpected clarity. Out of nowhere, something has become clear to you. Not everything, and perhaps not even the most important thing, but something that was murky or confusing or weighted with too many conflicting feelings before has sharpened into focus. Maybe it was a decision you had been going back and forth on for months, unable to commit to either direction, and then one morning you woke up simply knowing. Maybe it was a realization about a relationship or a situation that clicked into place during a quiet walk or a moment of stillness, arriving fully formed with a certainty you did not have to manufacture. Maybe it was something about yourself, about why you have done what you have done or what you actually want is distinct from what you have been told you should want, that you could not have articulated before and that now seems almost embarrassingly obvious. These flashes of clarity are one of the most reliable signals that a new door is opening. The universe does not send you through a threshold unprepared and without warning. Before the outer door opens, the inner window clears. You begin to see your situation, your options, your own nature more honestly and more precisely than you did before. This is an act of preparation. You cannot move through a new door dragging a pile of confusion behind you. The confusion begins to lift first. The fog starts to pull back from the areas where you most need to see clearly. And for Sagittarius, a sign naturally drawn to truth and meaning, these moments of clarity feel deeply satisfying, like a long-held knot in your chest finally releasing, like a weight you had been carrying without realizing it has been set down. Pay attention to what has become clear recently, even if it seems small or obvious in retrospect. Clarity rarely starts with the biggest thing. It usually starts with something adjacent to the most important thing, and then it ripples outward. Today it is this small thing that suddenly makes sense. Next week it is the slightly bigger thing. And then, at the right moment, the central thing falls into place with the same effortless quality. What do you understand now that you did not understand 6 months ago? The answer to that question is a significant part of what the opening door is leading you toward. If what you are hearing feels accurate, know that it could happen if you applied this energy consistently for 21 consecutive days. That is the 21-day challenge pinned at the top of this channel. It is built around daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you are tired of staying in the same cycle, that structure is exactly what has been missing. Signal 3. The right people have been showing up at the right moments. There is something happening in your social and professional orbit that feels slightly orchestrated, even though you know no single person could have arranged it. The right person appears at the right time with exactly the right information or exactly the right question. A connection that seemed irrelevant months ago suddenly becomes meaningful in a new context, as if it had been waiting for you to be ready to understand its significance. Someone reaches out who you had almost forgotten about and opens a conversation that proves to be exactly what you needed to hear at exactly this moment. For Sagittarius, who has always attracted interesting people and meaningful encounters through the sheer force of Jupiter's generous and expansive energy, this might not seem unusual. You have always had a talent for drawing the right people. But pay attention to the quality and timing of these recent connections. There is a precision to them that feels different from the ordinary flow of social life. Feels like curation, like something somewhere is sending the right people to you in the right sequence. When the universe is opening a door, it sends people ahead as preparation. It sends mentors, collaborators, messengers, people who carry a piece of the puzzle you are assembling without necessarily knowing that is what they are doing. They arrive in the form of a friend who says something offhand that breaks something open in you. In the form of a stranger in a conversation that redirects your thinking. In the form of an old contact resurfacing at a moment that was clearly not accidental. When you look at the people who have recently entered or re-entered your life, do any of them seem like they belong to a story that is not quite written yet? Do any of them feel like they arrived before you fully understand why, like they are there in advance of the chapter they belong to? Hold those connections with a little more intention than usual. Invest in them. Pay attention to what they bring, what they open, what questions they raise in you. They are not random. They are part of the architecture of what is opening for you, and the relationships that form or deepen in this period are likely to matter for a long time. Signal 4. You have felt a renewed sense of purpose, even without knowing where it is leading. There has been a shift in your overall sense of meaning. Not a dramatic revelation that arrives with full clarity and a complete vision of the future, but a quiet reinvigoration, a feeling that what you are doing or what you are becoming actually matters in a way that maybe it did not feel like it did before. A feeling that the thread of your life is connected to something larger than your daily decisions and your ordinary routine. A sense, however difficult to describe, that you are on the right track even when you cannot yet see where the track leads. This renewed sense of purpose is significant because Sagittarius without a sense of meaning is like an archer without a target. Your sign is designed around intentionality, around the capacity to aim at something that matters and direct your considerable energy toward it. You can generate enormous enthusiasm and momentum, but without the pull of something that genuinely matters, that energy tends to scatter, to burn bright and short rather than sustained and directional. When purpose returns, it is because you are being realigned with something worth aiming at. The realignment may not have come with a loud announcement. It may have arrived as a single conversation that left you energized for days, or a book or a film or a piece of music that struck you as more personally relevant than you expected, that felt like it was speaking directly to something in your particular situation, or a quiet moment of reflection in which something fell back into place inside you with a rightness you had not felt in a while. Whatever form it took, the return of purpose is not arbitrary. It is your sign's compass being recalibrated. Jupiter is pointing you at something real and meaningful, something that deserves the full force of your fire and your faith. The fact that you cannot yet see the full picture is not a problem. Sagittarius has never needed to see the complete destination before stepping toward it. The sense of purpose itself is enough to navigate by. It always has been. Keep walking toward it, and the specifics will clarify as you move. Signal 5. You have let go of something without completely understanding why. There was something in your life, a habit, a relationship, a belief, a role, an identity you had been wearing for a long time, that you released not because you had a clear and logical reason, but because something inside you simply knew its time was finished. You may not have been able to explain it to anyone who asked. You may still not fully understand it yourself. But the letting go happened, and it felt right in a way that was quieter and more settled than the usual turmoil of endings. Not dramatic, not accompanied by grief or relief in proportion to its significance, just a clean sense of completion. This kind of release, the one that comes not from analysis but from inner knowing, is one of the most powerful signals that a new door is opening for Sagittarius. Because doors do not swing open while you are still holding tightly to what is behind you. The hand has to release before it can reach for what is new. The space has to be cleared before the new thing has somewhere to land. The old energy has to be set down before the new one can be picked up. What you let go of, even if you do not yet understand exactly why you let it go, was occupying a space in your life, in your attention, in your energy, in your identity that is now available for something else. That space is not empty in a frightening way. It is empty in the way that a cleared room is empty before new furniture arrives, in the way that a cleared field is empty before it is planted. It is a purposeful, prepared emptiness. The universe engineered that release. It did not happen by accident. It happened because the opening door required room that was previously occupied, and your deeper self cooperated with the need to clear the space, even when your surface self could not fully articulate why the clearing was necessary. Honor the release. Do not second-guess it retroactively now that you are in the space of not knowing what comes next. The not knowing is temporary. The space is real, and it is yours to fill with something that actually fits who you are becoming. Signal 6. Your intuition has been louder than usual. Sagittarius intuition is different from the intuition of some other signs. It is not a soft whisper you have to quiet yourself entirely to hear. It is a philosophical knowing, a felt sense of understanding that arrives without the usual process of reasoning. It bypasses the analytical mind and lands directly in the chest or the gut, fully formed and certain. You have always had it. You have relied on it more than you probably admit, and it has served you well more often than it has failed you. Lately, that intuition has been louder, more insistent, more persistent in the face of rational arguments against it. Harder to dismiss, harder to talk yourself out of, more difficult to drown out with logic or with the opinions of other people. You have been getting strong internal signals about things, about people, about situations, about choices, and those signals have been more consistent and more vivid than they usually are. They are not fading when you ignore them. They are returning, sometimes stronger, as if they understand that the first attempt was not fully received. When Sagittarius intuition turns up its volume, it is almost always because something important is approaching, and your deeper navigation system wants to make sure you are positioned correctly to receive it. The louder intuition is not anxiety, even though it can sometimes produce a similar sensation of urgency. It is heightened sensitivity in service of accurate direction. The universe is transmitting more clearly right now because it needs you to receive clearly. The signals coming through your intuitive channel are directly relevant to the opening door. Pay specific attention to what your gut has been telling you lately that your rational mind has been arguing with. The places where your intuition and your logic are in tension are almost always the places of greatest significance. That tension is not confusion. It is information about where growth is being required. Follow the signal that has been the most persistent. Not the loudest necessarily, but the most consistent, the one that keeps coming back no matter how many times you reason it away. That is the one the universe most needs you to hear right now. If this message is resonating with your sign right now, trust that it is not a coincidence. When the universe wants to speak to you, it sends exactly the right signal at exactly the right moment. And you are here because you needed to hear this today. Your support, whether as a subscriber or as a member of this community, is what keeps these messages alive. The ones that touch hearts, awaken minds, and transform lives. If this video has been making sense to you, drop in the comments the day you were born. Let us keep going. Signal 7. You have started to care less about what others think of your choices. Something has shifted in how much weight you are giving to external opinion. The opinions that used to have genuine power over your decisions, the expectations of family, the approval of colleagues, the unspoken judgments of your social circle, have been losing their grip in a way that feels both liberating and occasionally disorienting. You find yourself making choices based on what actually feels right to you rather than what will be best received. You find yourself able to hold your ground in conversations that would have previously made you second-guess yourself. This shift in relationship to external approval is one of the most important signals that the universe is opening a new door for Sagittarius. Because real doors, the kind that lead somewhere genuinely worth going, often require you to walk through them before you have anyone else's blessing. The crowd tends to validate the path only after you are already well down it. If you are waiting for unanimous approval before you step forward, you may be waiting long past the right moment. The loosening of your dependence on external validation is not selfishness or arrogance. It is alignment. It is you coming back into fuller relationship with your own nature as a Sagittarius, a sign that was born to explore beyond accepted boundaries, to follow the arrow of its own convictions, even when that arrow points somewhere unfamiliar or unconventional. You were not made to require consensus before you move. You were made to lead with your own internal navigation. The people who genuinely belong in your life, who genuinely support you, will respect your choices even when they do not fully understand them. They may not always agree. They may sometimes worry. But the respect will be there because they know who you are. And the opinions of those who only respect you when you do what they expect, those are not the opinions worth organizing your life around. The freedom you are claiming right now is not irresponsibility. It is the return of the authentic self. And that return always precedes a genuine new beginning. Signal 8. A long-held fear is starting to feel smaller. There is something that has frightened you for a long time. Not necessarily the kind of fear you talk about openly, not a fear of heights or failure in a general sense, but the quiet background fear, the specific one, the kind that has been shaping your choices in ways you may not have fully recognized until recently because it was so deeply woven into the fabric of your ordinary decision-making. Maybe it is the fear of being truly seen and then found disappointing, of letting someone close enough to discover that the optimism and the expansiveness are not the whole story. Maybe it is the fear of settling, of making a commitment that turns out to be the one that finally closes off the open sky you have always needed overhead. Maybe it is the fear of failure in front of people who know you well, or the fear of success and what it might demand of you in terms of sustained responsibility. Maybe it is something more specific to your particular story, but it has been there, operating in the background, and it has had a real cost. Lately, this fear has been shrinking, not because the circumstances that used to trigger it have gone away or have been resolved, not because you found a way to avoid it, but because something inside you has shifted in your relationship to it. You see it more clearly now. You understand where it came from, what experience or what series of experiences wrote it into your nervous system. And that understanding has taken away some of its automatic power, the power it had when it was invisible and unnamed. When a long-held fear begins to shrink for Sagittarius, it is almost always because the universe is about to offer something that would have been blocked by that fear in its full power. The timing is precise. The fear needed to shrink before the door could open, because the door leads somewhere the fear would have prevented you from fully entering. Your growing freedom from this fear is not incidental. It is preparation. It is clearing the way. And what is waiting on the other side of that door is something that the fearful version of you would have turned down, deflected, or sabotaged before it could fully arrive. The version of you that is here right now is ready to say yes to it. Signal 9. Something new has sparked a genuine excitement you had not felt in a while. There is a specific kind of aliveness that Sagittarius carries when genuinely excited. Not just good mood or surface enthusiasm, Something more total than that, a full-body engagement with life, a sense that the world has become slightly more vivid and the possibilities have stopped being theoretical and started feeling actually immediately available. You know this quality. It is what you feel at the beginning of a real adventure, at the first real conversation with someone who truly fascinates you, when an idea arrives that feels genuinely important. You had gone a while without feeling that. Maybe a long while. The days had a certain sameness to them, competent and managed but not particularly alive. And then something happened, an idea, an encounter, a piece of information, a moment, and that particular quality of aliveness came back. And it surprised you, partly because of its intensity and partly because of what it was attached to. This is not a passing enthusiasm. You know the difference. This one has a different weight to it. That return of genuine excitement is not a distraction. It is not your sign's restlessness seeking novelty for its own sake. It is a signal. Jupiter's energy is excitement-based at its core. When your ruling planet is activating a new chapter in your life, the first felt sense of it is that return of genuine aliveness, that sense that something worthwhile and real is available just beyond where you are standing. The specific thing that sparked it is worth examining carefully. Not to overthink it, but to take it seriously. What was it? What exactly was it about this particular idea or encounter or possibility that produced that particular quality of engagement? Because that quality is a tracking mechanism, one of the most accurate ones available to Sagittarius. It is your inner archer recognizing the target. It is the body knowing before the mind has caught up. Where genuine Sagittarius excitement points, with this quality of depth and intensity rather than surface novelty, significant life movement reliably follows. Signal 10. You have been given information that changes how you see your situation. Something has been revealed to you recently that recontextualized something important. Maybe it was a conversation that gave you information about a person or a situation that completely changed how you understood what had been happening. Maybe it was a piece of knowledge, a book, a perspective, a moment of genuine learning that shifted your entire framework for understanding something you thought you already had figured out. Something that made you realize the map you had been using was drawn with certain crucial features missing. For Sagittarius, the sign of philosophy and wisdom, this kind of informational shift is often the catalyst for everything else. You are someone who lives and moves by understanding. When your understanding of something changes fundamentally, your behavior naturally follows, not because you force yourself to change, but because the change arises organically from the new understanding. New information for Sagittarius is not just knowledge. It is direction. It is the arrow pointing at the next thing. The information you have received recently, whatever form it took, is not incidental to the new door opening. It is part of the key. It is the piece of understanding that makes the next step visible in a way it could not have been before that understanding existed. Do not underestimate the significance of what you have recently learned. Even if it seemed minor in the moment, even if it came through a casual conversation or an accidental encounter, information that shifts your perspective is never minor for a Sagittarius. It is the raw material of genuine inner transformation, which is always what precedes the outer kind. Sit with what you now know that you did not know before. How does it change what you thought was possible? How does it reframe what you thought was fixed or closed or finished? What new questions does it open that you would not have had the frame to ask before? The answers to those questions are pointing directly toward the open door. And the door is wider than you currently imagine. Signal 11, you feel a readiness that you cannot quite account for. This is the last signal and in many ways the most important one. There is a quality of readiness in you right now that is different from what you have felt before. Not the readiness of excitement or the readiness of desperation, or the readiness that comes from having nothing left to lose and nothing left to protect. This is a quieter and more substantial kind of readiness, a grounded sense that you have become, in some way that you cannot fully articulate, prepared for something larger than what your current life contains. It arrived without a clear announcement. You did not wake up one morning having completed a list of preparations and declared yourself ready. Instead, the readiness seems to have assembled itself gradually, piece by piece, through everything you have lived and survived and learned and chosen. Through the difficulties that turned out to be instruction. Through the relationships that cost you something and gave you something in return. Through the moments of clarity, the periods of exhaustion, the long nights when the questions had no immediate answers. All of it contributed to something even when it felt like nothing was being built. Maybe the readiness arrived after a specific experience that cracked something open in you. Maybe it came gradually across months or years of facing things you would rather have avoided and discovering that you were capable of facing them. Maybe it arrived so quietly and so incrementally that you only recognize it now, when you hold it up to the light and examine it carefully, when you look at who you are today compared to who you were several years ago and notice the genuinely different quality of the person you have become. However it came, it is real. This quality of readiness is the most reliable signal of all that the universe has an open door waiting for you right now. Because the universe is not arbitrary in its timing. It does not swing doors open for people who are not yet capable of walking through them. The preparation always comes first. The opening follows the readiness. And you, Sagittarius, you have been in preparation for longer than you realize, doing the inner work, gathering the wisdom, releasing the old stories, facing the recurring patterns, earning the readiness that you now carry in a way that is as bone deep as any exhaustion you have known. The door is open. Not just cracked, not just slightly ajar. It is standing wide and waiting for you to recognize what you have earned the right to walk through. If this message resonated with your sign, trust that it is not a coincidence. When the universe wants to speak to you, it always sends exactly the right signal. And you are here because you needed to hear this today. Your support as a subscriber or as a member of this community is what keeps these messages alive. They are the messages that touch, awaken, and transform. If this video made sense to you, leave in the comments the day you were born. When the universe opens a door for Sagittarius, it is not opening it to a small room. It never does anything small where your sign is concerned. Jupiter, your ruling planet, does not deal in modest adjustments or minor course corrections. When it moves with scale and with intention, reaching for the far edge of what is possible rather than the comfortable middle ground. It builds the kind of openings that match who you actually are, not the edited version, not the one who made themselves smaller to fit into spaces that were never built for them, but the full, unedited, philosophically alive, adventurous, truth-seeking, sky-reaching Sagittarius that you were actually made to be. The 11 signals you recognized in this reading are each pointing at the same truth from a slightly different angle. You are in the middle of a genuine turning point. Not the kind that is announced with fanfare or arrives with a feeling of complete certainty, but the kind that is felt deep in the chest. The kind that accumulates quietly across days and weeks until it can no longer be ignored or explained away. The kind that, years from now, you will look back on and say that was when everything started to shift. That was the season when the real change began. You are in that season right now, and what you do with it matters enormously. Walking through this door does not require you to have everything figured out. It does not require certainty. It does not require the absence of fear or doubt or the ordinary human uncertainty that comes with any genuine new beginning. What it requires is honesty with yourself about what you are feeling and where you are being pulled. It requires trusting the signals over the noise. It requires honoring the readiness you have earned rather than talking yourself back into the familiar, because familiar feels more manageable than true. Sagittarius was not made for manageable. Sagittarius was made for true. For the genuine journey, the one that has real stakes and real reward. The one that asks everything of you and gives back more than you expected. The one that cannot be fully planned or controlled, but only met with the full presence and the open courage that is your birthright. That journey is beginning right now, not someday, not when the timing is perfect, not when you feel completely certain. Right now, in this moment, with this readiness, through this open door. The archer is at full draw. The direction is clear. The aim is true. Take the step.